Today we have Doug Roxburgh, a delegate for the Alberta Beef Producers as well as the Canadian Cattlemen's Association. And he's here today to talk to us about the new labeling procedures that might be being put in place for Canadian beef in supermarkets. And so thank you so much for being with us today, Doug.
No, thanks for having me. Greatly appreciated.
And so, Doug, tell us exactly what Health Canada is trying to put in place for beef products in the supermarket.
Essentially, Health Canada is trying to put regulations in place that would require ground beef to carry a front of packaging warning label, essentially labeling it as high in saturated fats. The challenge, I guess, that we have with this labeling is that other single sourced ingredients like unsweetened fruit that would be naturally occurring high in sugar, we're given an exemption to this process. Same with other dairy and egg products, single source egg products that were also given an exemption through this regulation as well.
And what would be the major problems if this was to go through and this label was required on beef? How would that affect the market for beef cattle?
So essentially in Canada here today, approximately 50% of the beef consumed is in ground form. By placing this warning label on ground beef, you're giving the notion to consumers that ground beef is unhealthy, when unfortunately they need to understand that ground beef is a very nutrient dense, wholesome product that is rich in protein, high in vitamin B12, iron, and zinc. So in our today's economy where food inflation has become such a thing, ground beef only isn't nutritious, but at the same time, it's also still relatively affordable for consumers in the marketplace when they're making their meal planning choices for the week. Now, when we take that back and we understand that, approximately 50% of ground beef consumed or beef consumed in this country is in the ground form, if consumers start to view it negatively, it can start to have a very negative impact on the supply of cattle coming into the marketplace. Where's a lot of that beef going to go? So if we start to see demand start to shrink, that can certainly have a very negative impact on the producers.
Stations like the Alberta Beef Producers and Canadian Cattlemen's, what are they going to do in order to try and stop Health Canada from putting this forward?
I think originally a lot of the discussion through CCA and Alberta Beef was very direct to Health Canada, was very direct to our federal ag ministers on the agriculture side to try to really communicate our concerns with them. It seems like that maybe wasn't exactly getting things done. So organizations like CCA and Alberta Beef have started to team up with our provincial ministers of health and agriculture and start to communicate and get the word out to our public of what's happening. Just recently, we launched a website, don'tlabelmybeef.ca, and we encourage consumers and producers to go on there and fill out the form and send that off. It goes directly to our ministers on the federal side to start to voice our concerns and allow them to know what Canadians are thinking.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Doug, and we hope for the best for all Canadian beef producers.
Thank you very much for your time.